If you're experiencing burnout in your life right now, be of good comfort because burnout is simply just the fruit of knowing what you want in life and knowing that you're not owning up to it or feeling that the pressure is too high. It's the fruit of having a vision so large, a goal or a dream so big that everybody else thinks it's impossible, or that maybe somewhere deep down in your heart you feel that is impossible. Now, I just want you guys to remember that is the most successful people that had the most delusional goals and visions. Every single book out there, there's millions of books on business. So many of them talk about setting goals, having dreams bigger than what you believe you yourself can accomplish. But regardless, achieving your dreams, achieving your goals shouldn't just be full of endless burnout. Shouldn't feel like you need to quit every single day. Shouldn't feel like you need to push yourself so hard for the rest of your life. Because success and achieving your dreams and your goals and chasing those things should be a joyous experience, should be full of freedom and balance, should be an adventure in and of itself. Conquering dragons in your life should feel rewarding, and that's what you're doing. So I want to talk to you guys because I've experienced a lot of burnout in the past couple of years, and I've failed a lot when it comes to burnout. I've quit many times, but now I've actually come to a point where I feel that I can face burnout head on and actually conquer it myself. Doesn't mean that some days aren't hard, because you're going to have hard days no matter what. Don't think that this is just an easy trick to achieve freedom, right? Because anything good in life requires a little bit of sacrifice. So I wrote down 4 different points, but these 4 points are exactly what I do essentially to avoid and overcome burnout. And I'm not going to say avoid, maybe avoid's the wrong way to look at it, but to overcome burnout. The number one thing that I want to really get into with this is establish habit. You want to establish habit so that when you're tired, it hurts to stop. It hurts more to stop or quit than it does to just push through. It's essentially a trick made or developed by entrepreneurs and business owners to automate their practices, to automate the effort. For example, I started going to the gym 3 years ago. I've gone every single day. I know it doesn't totally look like it, right? I weigh like $150, but the truth is I go to the gym every single day. It's something that I've learned to love. Some days are hard, but it's something I've learned to love, and I just can't stop. I've established habits out of going to the gym every single morning so that one day if I miss it, or if my schedule's a little bit off and I'm not able to make it to the gym because of that, I feel guilty, I feel bad, I feel sad. It's just something I can't miss. Same thing with filming videos. If I miss a day of filming, I feel like I'm behind. I feel like I'm losing at life, and the burnout just gets worse and worse and worse until I do something with it, right? And it's a really interesting predicament to be in, because when you establish habit, you know that quitting the practice will leave you feeling empty, burnt out, sick, tired. You'll feel like you've wasted more time. It's a weird predicament because it's like you want to quit, you feel like you should quit, but deep down you know you can't quit because you have a habit out of it. It's just easier to continue doing what you're doing. That's what true habit is. So a lot of people talk about how this is all about discipline. I have another video if you guys want to research this and learn how to be disciplined, right? But really what it comes down to is discipline is the shortest part of the process, right? Discipline is the shortest part of the process. It only lasts 30 to 66 days. That's the amount of time it takes to establish habit. And after that, you just do it automatically. It's just what you do. It's just who you are and how you do things. So when you think about it, it only takes 30 to 66 days for your brain to essentially rewire itself into habit. Number 2, buy a journal. So having a journal is really good for a lot of different reasons. Actually, this is probably the biggest point. You miss this, you miss it all. But buy a journal. Go out there, buy a journal. You can get like a Moleskine journal from Walmart for like $7-12, something like that. They come in different sizes. They come in different styles, like line journal, dot journal, sketchbook. They come in so many different types. A grid journal, right? There's so many different kinds, so just kind of pick your styling. I also have another video talking about how to journal. I have several videos on that. So go and research, figure it out. What style of journaling are you going to participate in? Create a habit of that, and you'll be very successful. A couple points I wrote down was a journal will keep your thoughts clear and focused. That's absolutely something that I've seen as I've owned a journal. It's kept me from actually being distracted, right? Rather than scrolling for the first couple months, I just journaled because it felt more rewarding and more fulfilling. My thoughts were just clear, they're focused. I knew what I had to do, and I got it done. The next big thing is it establishes principle. So one of the issues that I've kind of found is that we don't have principles. Our principles are based off of what everybody else says on social media, on Google, with ChatGPT. We go and we basically counsel with those alternatives to find principle and build principle. But if you have a journal and you're writing in it all the time, you build principle automatically. You have your own principles, you have your own things. You are exactly who you need to be based off of what you believe. Not only that, it builds creativity. This is actually something interesting. In my profession, I teach several art students privately. I'm not like teaching out of school or anything. I teach several students privately. And the right side of the brain is exactly what is required for art. That is the creative thinking side of the brain, and it is one of the hardest parts to access. Hard because there are a lot of things nowadays that actually disable the right side of the brain. There's a lot of science I could go into, like music being in 330 hertz, or all the math classes, the grades that we have to rely upon. There's so many different things that absolutely disable the right side of the brain, which makes it harder to stay creative. You know, if your practice, if your goal is a creation-based practice or goal, then you need to exercise the right side of your brain frequently so that you can activate it and get into it whenever you need to. That's going to keep you from getting into burnout. Burnout is simply just kind of the byproduct of not being on the correct side of the brain. It's a lot hard to do things if your brain's not functioning properly. And so that's something to look at. And a journal really helps with that. Gets creative thoughts out onto paper, creates principle, all that so that your brain stays focused on the task or project at hand. Not only that, it keeps you accountable, not just to like any coach or anything like that, but to your future self or maybe even your children, right? Doesn't matter what. Your book is going to be an accountability coach in a sense, right? Because at some point, somebody's going to be reading it, whether it's yourself, your children, or your grandchildren, or your wife, or your husband. Somebody is going to be reading this book. And so they're going to see, and they're going to have to take account for you subconsciously on whether or not you followed through with your dreams, your goals, or your ideas. Did you stay true to your principles? Were you a person of principle? And the last thing you want to do is write something down and not own up to it like you promised yourself you would. If you are struggling with accountability, having real people is really good. And so I've actually included our Discord channel just into the description below. There's not a lot of people in there, so just join it. It's all free. It's not like I'm going to charge you anything, but hop in the Discord channel so we can build a community of successful men and women. Not only that, the journal is an outlet to talk through your doubts, your fears, some of the things you're worried about, right? If you're feeling burnt out, this is a great way to talk through it. Understand what your brain is actually trying to communicate to yourself. A lot of times it's not that you want to quit, it's just that you just need something or someone to talk to. And the journal is a great place to go for that. And the last point I actually want to talk about this for real is that it is a great way to track progress, to track your goals, to see how far you've grown. It's a lot harder to burn out or crash if you can look back in your journal and see, okay, this is how far I've come. Because no matter what, it doesn't matter what part of your life you are in, you have something, or you are living at least some part or at some degree the life you wanted to live, say a year ago or 5 years ago. Say, and that could be anything, like maybe you're married, maybe you have the job you wanted, maybe you have this habit or this practice that you love, or you have, it could be anything, right? There's so many things to look at. No matter what, you need to appreciate and understand, and you'll do that through these pages, how far you've come and exactly how you are living the life that you want to live. Number 3, keep a consistent schedule. This has been really good for me as I am doing YouTube. I like to watch this YouTuber named Groovy Gavin, and he said that he was trying to figure out YouTube a couple years ago. And so he went to kind of some mentors to him, other YouTubers that he looked up to, and he asked them, how do I become successful at this practice? And they said, just upload a video a week. That is something that I've done. I've also added like one short a week. Maybe I'll add more eventually. But right now it's like one video, one short a week. And it's been really good for me. Sometimes I feel tempted to add more onto my plate. I feel like I should add a second video where I'm like, oh, maybe I could do one video a day, or maybe I could do a short a day, or maybe I could do what I used to do and do 7 shorts a day. But the truth is, that's why I got burnt out, is because I was trying to add way too much to my plate. It's like when you add too much to your plate, then you don't have room to digest it later, right? You end up getting sick. Maybe you throw up a little bit, right? It's just not, your body's not meant to take on too many tasks, right? You're not ready for it yet. It's going to take a couple of years, or it's going to take a little bit of time for you to adjust to what you already have to do. So set a schedule and stick to it. Do something, set a schedule that you can stay consistent to, that you can stay true to. It kind of goes into habit, right? It's a lot easier to establish habits if your schedule is built around your habit. Make sure it's achievable, right? Don't do anything that's too hard, or don't do anything that is too much. Everybody wants to say you got to be doing more than your competition, which is, yeah, it's true to some extent, but doing more than your competition could mean having a higher quality video, or doing something a little bit better than everybody else just once. If you can do it right just once, you're doing way better than everybody else. Because a lot of people they like to push quantity more than quality, right? And if you're just pumping out a bunch of crap, then nobody's going to want it, right? So just pump out what's good and then add on as you succeed more, as you become more motivated. Last, replace activities. This is such a simple practice. In some ways, it's kind of like removing addictions from your life, and it's a really easy way to do that. So the example would be that I replaced music in the morning. When I go to the gym, I like to listen to music. I replaced that music with podcasts and books. Just things that essentially motivate me to work on what I want. It essentially keeps me focused on my goals, on my business, on the videos that I want to film, and it will probably do the same thing for you. So just find like a podcast that talks about things that you love, and you'll be motivated always. It's a lot easier to get past burnout or to stay away from burnout if you're always consuming what you love. And the other thing was like scrolling. I replaced that with like going for walks with my dog. Maybe you do some breathing exercises. That's another way you can do it. And then instead of your like late night TV shows, something you could do is you can go to bed, you can meditate, you can journal. Those kind of things are really good. And then just get to bed so that you have the energy and the ability to go on the next day. Honestly, if you were tired, of course you're going to be burnt out. You're going to feel exhausted. You're going to feel sick and tired of what you're doing. So replace these negative habits that are making you feel sick and tired with the habits that are going to build you up, motivate you, inspire you, and keep you going. At the end of the day, it's all about momentum. An object in motion stays in motion. A couple other things I wrote was do things that won't distract you from your purpose or that take more time than they need, right? If you're scrolling, it takes more time than it needs to, right? So do things like if you go for a walk instead of scrolling, you're going to spend less time and you'll have more time for things that you love. It's kind of like just sharpening your axe so that you have the ability to cut down more trees than everybody else who's just been grinding all day, right? It's because it's not that scrolling is bad. It's the amount of time that you take scrolling that is bad. And then of course, educate yourself with people doing what you want to be doing, right? So that's what's been so good about reading books. It's what's been so good about watching podcasts in the morning, is that I'm listening to people who are already doing things that I want or who are living the life that I want to live. And that has made me extremely efficient. It's kept me from being burnt out. I just want to end this video by saying it's easy to be burnt out. If you're chasing your goals, if you have higher standards for yourself, you will be burnt out. It's going to happen. But it doesn't mean you can't fight the burnout. A couple weeks I was feeling burnt out, and these were the habits that I established. And ever since, I've just loved what I've been doing. I'm way ahead in content. By the time I filmed this video, I filmed it at least 2 months before its published date. So do what you love, chase what you feel, but do it within the right means. Establish the habits, buy a journal. Do all these things and your life will be 10 times better. My name is Gabriel Bowman. I post every single Monday. If you guys like this video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Share it with a friend that you feel might benefit from this as well. That helps my channel a lot. That is honestly one of the greatest things you can do. And of course, like I said, join the Discord, which is in the description below. Like I said, it's all free. It's not like any of this is sponsored, right, or anything like that. Just join the Discord. We'll have a great time there. And I will see you next Monday. Bye.